Welcome to the Berman Golf Podcast, where we're helping golfers over the age of 60 increase distance off the tee so that they can hit shorter irons into the green. Yeah, baby. You can visit us at bermangolf.com for more information and get ready. This is going to be a fun one. And we're back with the Long Balls Golf Podcast. Dr. Jake Berman here, originator, inventor, trademarker of the Berman method of golf performance. We specialize in helping aging golfers gain distance off the tee, shoot more consistently, and play more frequently. One of the things that I want to cover today is why you are so frustrated with your golf lessons. It is one of the most common things that I hear, especially with my aging golfers. And when I say aging, 50, 60 plus, they get frustrated when they go to golf lessons, or specifically when they leave golf lessons. Man, I was feeling really good about my game until I had another lesson. It seems like I was hitting the ball really well, and then by the end of the lesson, I couldn't hit it for crap. And then I got all these thoughts in my head, and I'm going, what's the right thing to do? What's the wrong thing? I have no idea. I'm completely lost. I feel like I've regressed and gained 10 strokes. Now, that might be an extreme. However, it's not uncommon. It's one of the most common things that I hear is, I stopped going to the pro because I'm frustrated. It wasn't getting any better. And I'm going to tell you why it is. It's really simple. It's because the pro is not an expert at retraining your brain how to do what he wants you to do. So first, let me start off with this. A lot of people ask me, what is the Berman method? How is it different? Is it a conflict of interest with teaching pros? What is it exactly? And what I have to start off by saying is what it's not. It is not the TPI, and it is not golf instruction. So TPI is what the Titleist Institute came up with. And it is a way to do a bunch of tests and measures to objectify where you're starting at, where your limitations are during the golf swing with certain golf movements. And I actually looked into it before I had, quote unquote, the Berman method. I was like, maybe I need to be a TPI instructor. So I looked into it, and it didn't take me long to figure out that the TPI is not what my demographic needs because it's just too in-depth. There's just too much. When we start looking at wrist mobility and ankle mobility and degrees and measurements and range of motion of the wrist and ankle, and I'm going, are you freaking kidding me? He's 70 years old and he's got no hip mobility and his posture is shit and there's no muscles working. Who cares if the foot and ankle is doing what it's supposed to be doing? Who cares if the wrist is doing what it's supposed to be doing? That's not the lowest hanging fruit. So I'm like, this is not right for me. So that's what ultimately led me to developing the Berman method of golf performance. It's really simple when you think about it. For an aging golfer, it is so simple to improve your golf game. Compared to a younger golfer, it's not simple because the body moves so differently after the age of 60 than it does before the age of 60. So that's why I steered away from the TPI. And then golf instruction. I am not a PGA pro. I'm not a golf pro. I'm not even going to begin to pretend like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to setting up your clubs or grip or technique, swing path, and all that. I don't know. The only thing that I know, or not the only thing, the thing that I'm 100% confident in is if I can get you to generate more power and transfer that power into the golf ball, I am 100% confident that the ball will go farther. And the other thing that I'm 100% confident in is if I can get you using more muscles during the golf swing, you have a significantly better chance at reproducibility than you did before. If you can reproduce the same movement over and over again, you're going to get a better chance at consistency. So if I'm 100% confident that I can get you to hit the ball farther and hit it more consistently, what does it matter about anything else? Because that's what you really care about. That's the reason why you're listening to this podcast. This is the reason why you watch my videos, is you just want to hit the ball farther. You want more carry off the tee, or you want to do it more consistently. You just want to be able to strike the ball more consistently. Or the third one is, I don't really care about either one of those. I just don't want my back given out on me. And guess what? Here's the third thing that I'm 100% confident in. I'm 100% confident that if I can get more muscles working during the golf swing, and they're the right muscles working at the right time, I am 100% confident that you'll be able to play more golf than you could before me. So those are the three things that I'm 100% confident in that will work 100% of the time with 100% of the people that I've ever worked with over my career of doing this Berman method thing. There is not a single golf guru on the planet that can say that their method works 100% of the time, because they're all technique. They're all revolving around golf philosophy. And golf technique and golf philosophy works for some people, doesn't work for other people, because you have to be able to interpret it and then actually apply it. But most importantly, your body has to be capable of producing it. And the chances of all three of those things coming and stars aligning on all three of those things, it just is not possible for it to work for everybody. Versus what I'm doing, I'm simply putting you into a position. So get into your address position. Then I'm going to start applying force to you. I'm going to start pushing on you from different angles. And what that does is, actually, I'm going to start pushing on you from different angles, and I'm going to say, do not let me move you. And what that does is it allows your brain to react and respond to the forces that I'm putting on it. That completely bypasses the interpretation phase. Completely bypasses it. So I don't have to interpret, okay, I want you to get this muscle firing, and I want you to really feel your glutes working and your core engaged. I want you to really feel that right now. You don't have to interpret it, because I'm saying, don't let me move you, and I'm pushing on you from a certain direction with a certain force, and your body just responds to it. So it bypasses the interpretation phase. That's why it works, because you don't have to interpret it. You just react. It's so simple that even a caveman can do it. I mean, seriously. That's the main difference between TPI and golf instruction and the Berman method. It's completely different. It doesn't even replicate either one of the prior two. It doesn't replicate TPI, it doesn't replicate golf instruction. Now, to come back full circle to the original thing I started off with, the reason why you're leaving your golf lessons more frustrated than when you got there is because your golf instructor is asking you to do something. Whatever it is, he's asking you to do something. He or she's asking you to do something. You must first interpret what they're asking you to do. Then you got to try to reproduce it. And that's where it all goes to crap most of the time. When you're frustrated, that's where it goes to crap. You either interpret it wrong or you interpret it correctly, but you just can't physically do it because your brain doesn't know how to do it. And what I mean by that is, if you're right-handed, if you're a righty, you've been writing with your right hand for your entire life, you could close your eyes and you could write a paper and turn the lights on, and you'd be able to read it. That's how much muscle memory you have with the muscles in your right hand. That means you know how to do it. You can interpret the request. I want you to close your eyes and write a page-long essay, and then you could reproduce it with the muscles. You know how to do that. Now, if you were to do the same exact thing with your left hand, being a righty, it would be a disaster. And that's because your brain does not know how to execute the task that you're asking it to do. You comprehend it, you interpret it correctly. I know what you're asking me to do. You want me to close my eyes and you want me to write a paragraph with my eyes closed with my left hand. I just can't do it. That's where so many aging golfers get frustrated with their golf instruction, is because I get it. I understand what you're saying. You want me to swing from the inside out. You want me to drop my right elbow. You want me to lead with my hips. I get it. You just can't do it. So you get frustrated because you keep trying working harder, not smarter, harder, not smarter. Versus what I'm doing with you is, I don't want you to interpret anything. I just want you to get into the right position that's right for your body. I'm not going to change your golf swing, by the way. I'm not going to change anything unless you want me to, as far as positioning goes. Whatever you're comfortable with, you get in that position, hold it there, and then let me push on you from a bunch of different directions to get the muscles to do what they're supposed to do. Don't interpret anything, just react. Don't let me move you. And that's why it works. That's why it works 100% of the time. Now, the next part is where it gets a little challenging. And this is why it takes time. It's not just a quick fix. And this is why I've found that over the years, it's around 24 contact hours that I've had with people where it really comes together, where we'll start making some really good improvements in the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions. And then it'll kind of plateau and we'll kind of regress a little bit sometimes because people think they're doing better than they are and they try to go apply it when I say, don't apply this out there yet. Just focus on practicing right now. And then it's somewhere around 12, 13, 14, 15, we start to progress and do pretty good again. And then we kind of flatline a little bit from 15 to 18. And then from really around 20 to 24, it comes full circle where it's like, yeah, I get it. I'm able to apply this out on the course now. I'm able to actually apply it in stressful situations like in a tournament. And the reason why it takes somewhere around 24 hours, 24 contact hours, is because it takes that much time for your brain to figure it out, for your brain to be able to connect to your muscles, and for your muscles to actually change, get stronger, get longer, get more mobility in your joints. For all of these things to come full circle, it just takes time of doing the right thing over and over again. And that's when you don't have to think about all this stuff. You can just go up there, get into your golf stance, pick one, maybe two things to think about, and then just be an athlete. Just go out there and execute. And that's when people start having a lot of fun. That's when people are saying, yep, I'm consistently carrying the ball at least 10 more yards with a big stick. Yep, I'm consistently striking my irons. I mean, I am just attacking the pin. If you get me within 140 yards, I am attacking the pin. That's what people tell me. And then even one of the best things is, I didn't know that this was going to help my putting game. Well, yeah, I guess it does, because now you're in a better posture when you're putting. Instead of being in a crappy slumped over posture, when you're in a crappy, slumped over posture when you putt, it forces you to be more wristy, more handsy, more wristy, because you don't have the right fulcrum up top. One of the easiest ways to think of it is if you got into your putting position or your putting posture and then you folded your arms like you were rocking a baby to sleep, just rocking your arms like if you had a baby, you're trying to rock it to sleep. That's the motion. And if you're in a crappy, slumped over posture, you can't do that motion efficiently. So you're going to have to rely on some wristy, handsy stuff to execute the movement. So it all comes full circle. And even the best thing is the endurance. Yeah, man, I felt great after 18 holes. I even went and played another 9. I haven't played 27 holes since my 40s. This has been amazing. Or, yeah, I'm definitely going to go on the guys' trip this year. We're supposed to play 4 days in a row, and I have no doubt in my mind that I can do it. Or the best one yet, let's plan a trip to Scotland next year so that we can golf 7 days in a row. By the way, if anybody wants to do that, I'm trying to gauge interest right now and put a group together for summer of 2024. So if you're interested, email me distance@bermangolf.com and we'll try to get a group together. So these are all the positives of bypassing the interpretation phase. It makes it so much simpler. It takes away the frustration. The only frustration that occurs as you move forward through the Berman Method program is the frustration is self-induced frustration, meaning that, man, I'm trying to apply this stuff too soon. Meaning that on day one, I tell everybody, the stuff that we learn in here, please try to keep it separate from what you do out there. Meaning that if you go to the driving range and you go and you play a round of golf, try to not think about anything that we're doing in here for at least 3 weeks. Ideally, it's 4 or 5 or 6 weeks. Because if you try to implement what we're doing in here out there too soon, it will be a disaster because you're going to be thinking about too many things. It's just too much. And then fast forward to 12, 13, 14, 15 sessions into a program, they're like, yeah, I got this. And then they try to go execute it during a round that actually has some weight to it, meaning that it's a scramble or it's some type of tournament and the score actually matters. It's still too soon. You really shouldn't be doing that until after the 24th session because that's historically when most people have the most consistency and ability for their brain to do what we want them to do. So that's the biggest differences between TPI and golf instruction and the Berman method of golf performance. We're bypassing the interpretation phase and we're really dumbing it down compared to the TPI. Very simple, very basic. That's why it works. Make sure that you go to bermangolf.com and check out the products link up there. And the tee shot transformation is 50% off right now. It's only $150 at the moment. Make sure you sign up for that. And if you've already signed up for the tee shot transformation, you've already taken it, which of the 6 modules are you focusing on this week? Just because you already did the program doesn't mean you quit doing it. There's a reason why you have access to all the videos, because you should be picking one module and focusing on it every single week. You don't just do it and say, okay, I'm done with it and move on to something new. No, this stuff is timeless. You have to keep doing it over and over again. It should be fun. You should be good at it. Think about the pros. The pros are never constantly looking for something new. They're working on the basic fundamentals over and over and over and over again. I'll never forget it. We actually talked about it on the podcast when me and Travis, my buddy Travis, was on the podcast weeks ago. We were talking about one of the colleges, Oklahoma, or I don't remember which one it was, but he said that the warm-up before every practice was putting. I think it was 2-foot putts, then 4-foot putts, then 6-foot putts, and you had to make 10 or 20 or 30 putts in a row at 2 feet before you could back up to 4 feet. Then you had to do the same thing. You had to make 10 or 20 or 30 in a row. I forget what the number was before you could move back to 6 feet. If you got to 19 and you missed the 19th one, you start over and you do it again. Because it's that important. It's the basic fundamentals. You have to do it over and over again. So if you already took the tee shot transformation, you're not done. Pick one module and do it every single week. Meaning that do module 4 this week. The next week, do module 2. Then the following week, do module 6. Pick a module and focus on it for the week so that you're constantly doing something to improve your game. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Share this podcast with somebody that needs to hear this, somebody that's frustrated with their golf game. Share this podcast with them. Comment on it, review it. Check us out on YouTube. Ton of great videos on there. And until next time, slow and easy, baby. Get those muscles firing. Thank you very much for tuning in this week. For more information, please go to bermangolf.com. That's B as in boy, ERMAN, bermangolf.com, and check out a ton of stuff that we have there. Or even better, go to our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We're even on TikTok. Check us out everywhere. We've got tons of content going out every week. And please give us a thumbs up. Comment on the videos. Let me know what your questions are. Try to shoot holes in this. I'll do whatever I can to help you out the best that I can. Thank you, guys.